Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. It's me, Vinod here, and I have Anand with me. I did some interesting news today which Anand had passed on to me on Bloomberg, which got my noggin thinking. What is it? Well, it seems to be China, which is the world's largest gold miner, big importer, and also has a huge consumer base buying gold. The Central Bank of China is one of the largest buyers recently, that's been in the news. But what was interesting in the article was they would like foreign other central banks to offer them the opportunity of being custodians of their gold, and like what is happening in London, New York, and this would make an opportunity for lending in leasing and become a hallmark of bullion banking market is what their aspiration is. Of course, there are some issues with this. What are the main issues with this? They're already restricting in domestically. In China, it's not easy to export gold. So because of that, there is a disparity between global gold market and the Chinese local gold market. And of course, the yuan is not freely convertible, which is also another worry. And of course, like Anand always says, the reason why dollar dominates reserve currency is because there's no other currency which has a competition where rule of law and rule of property comes into play, which China, of course, is not known for. This tied with, of course, all everything put together, I thought this would be something interesting to unpack with Anand. Do you think the Chinese are slowly pushing us away from dollar, or is this just some more show mirror which they're doing for some other agenda which they have, which is a lot of noise? Let's see where the signal is. Anand.
Gold has been dominated by the London market for a long time. It's not yet got to America, it's the London Metal Exchange which dominates gold. And most of the British and Swiss banks are the custodians of gold. Trump tried to put a duty on that and tried to snatch that market. It didn't work out.
Backfire.
Backfired badly. Now, what China would like to say is that we want a piece of the action. First, you have to understand why gold is rallying.
Huh.
Gold is going through the roof because gold has become the de facto reserve currency of the world. Why did it become the de facto currency of the world? Because it started with Joe Biden. When Russia invaded Ukraine, you could have passed all the sanctions you wanted, but you said we are now going to seize a portion of Russia's foreign reserve. So basically, you broke the promise. Basically, you allowed people to move in and move out of your reserve currency whenever they pleased. But that promise was broken because they thought I'm holier than thou.
The
So
Brentwood Agreement.
the Bretton Woods, forget the Bretton, it's after the Bretton Woods Agreement. After Nixon pulled the plug, people were thinking that dollar was the supreme currency. And whatever was your ideological differences with America, where the rule of law would be clear,
Dollar was separate.
dollar was separate and they would not hold back on the dollars. But in case of Russia, for the first time, they seized dollar of a major currency. So far, you are doing for small chutput countries, it was okay. But when you seized the currency of Russia, which is a major ideological opponent of yours, that means you are willing to bend rules, to break, to settle ideological scores. Now, there are a bunch of 6 to 7 countries which are ideologically opposed to the Western world. The chief among them is Russia, China, Turkey, Hungary are the big four countries which are not ideologically aligned with the Western world. Then there is a country called Brazil, which is neither with the Western world nor is it authoritarian. It's hanging in between. It's now Lula. Before Lula, there was Bolsonaro, who was a right wing authoritarian. Now, there are countries like India, which are traditionally liberal, but who have an authoritarian bent of mind at this point of time. So India needs to choose. Now, all these countries have been slowly accumulating gold over the last 3 years. That is why, in a counter cyclical move, normally when interest rates go up, dollar should have strengthened and gold should have corrected. But the inflection point was Joe Biden seizing the dollar. And from there on, gold has gone up steadily, even though America increased rates near more than 400%.
Correct. Usually, because when that happens, liquidity goes down and
Liquidity
price corrects.
price corrects. But in this case, priced incorrect because the rest of the world was just dumping dollars and buying gold. And that's why gold started to rally. Now there have been 2 to 3 power cut. There was a big 50% cut, 0.25, zero point 0.5, and a 0.25 cut. Now nearly America has dropped 1% rate. And now the cycle is favoring gold. So in the counter-cyclical range, it should have fallen from 2.2 to 1.5 and then started to go up from 1.5. But in the counter-cycle period, from 2.2 it dropped to 1.875, and from 1.875 it moved up all the way to nearly 2.8 or 2.6 before the cycle started. There's no headwind, both are tailwinds. These group of countries are treating gold as the reserve currency, and also the fact that America is easing has given two tailwinds, which is fueling the rally in dollar, rally in
Gold.
gold. Now, China feels that most of the world's reserves are held in London or in Switzerland. They want to keep it with them, which will mean that they have greater control over the world and they can move towards the reserve currency status. So, what they have done is they have built a Shanghai Commodity Exchange. Like the London Metal Exchange, there's a Shanghai Commodity Exchange. So, the Shanghai Commodity Exchange has become very, very big. And since they are mining gold and they have enough reserves of gold, and they are restricting the use
Yes,
of
they're
gold,
standing at 2,300 tons right now.
and they are restricting Chinese to buy gold. So there's a black market in gold, right? Because Chinese cannot export gold.
Yes, they
Chinese
cannot
are not
export.
importing gold. So the gold price in China has no relation to gold price
This
in
is outside.
outside,
So
right?
smuggling gold out of China is profitable.
Is profitable. So what has now happened is if you buy gold in China and keep it in China, China is slowly taking baby steps towards becoming the reserve currency. But no major nation will do it. It will be client states who are in the Belt and Road Initiative who will try that. No major nation can afford the risk of keeping money
In China.
in China. Neither Japan will do it nor India will do it. So this is a pipe dream. But this is clear signaling that we are ready to challenge the Western hegemony of the last 300, 400 years. Very difficult, best of luck, but there is clearly intent. As far as I am concerned, this I am clear now that the gold rally has some legs to go
Yes.
because America is not going to increase interest rates.
No.
At best, America may pause or America will be forced to cut rates, which is a tailwind. And also that the Chinese government is going out of its way to shore up its position and ownership of gold is also a tailwind. This is why Chris Wood has said, who is a famous equity analyst in this part of the world, he has said that gold can secularly go up to $6,600. This is roughly 76% from today's prices. So he is saying if the rupee does not depreciate, gold can reach 18,000 rupees in no time. So I do not know whether it will reach, but it definitely looks like hitting 11,700, 11,750 in a short span of 6 months. The 24 karat gold before Deepavali has a good chance of hitting 1 lakh for a sovereign. A sovereign is 8 grams of gold can hit a lakh of rupees, something in the range of 12,100 to 12,200. This is what I think. So the news is good for gold and not so good for dollars. So we have Mr. Trump who is obstinate at this time, and so things are going to really look up in the gold market. Thank you for watching Be Rich. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. If you did, hit the subscribe button of our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you do, if you like this video, send this to your friends and relatives and have them take a look. Once again, I thank you for your support for Be Rich.
Thank you.